What if Luffy never met Shanks? Would he become a pirate? Would he become a marine? Well, stay tuned to find out. Before we get into today's video, I want to thank our sponsor HikariBox.com. You guys know these are custom made lamps that are absolutely sick in 3D and turn on and off. You guys can get 10% off using code YONKO11 and help support the channel. So you really need to go get yourself one of these. They are amazing. So if Luffy never met Shanks, what would happen to the series of One Piece? Well, basically, everything would change, and those changes are so astronomical. The first line of reasoning is that, Luffy wouldn't really change that much. I believe he would still want to become a pirate because later on in the show he would eventually go on to meet Ace, and Ace and Sabo both wanted to be pirates, so he could just follow in their footsteps without meeting Shanks. Of course, Luffy would never receive his straw hat, and he would never receive his motivation to become the Pirate King and surpass Shanks one day. I believe the series would continue as fully intended, and Ace and Sabo would both set out to sea, with one of them being successful, and then Luffy would end up following in their footsteps. But there is one catch with this theory. Obviously, because Luffy never meets Shanks, he never receives the Gomu Gomu no Mi, or the Sun God fruit. I feel like this would dramatically change the entire series because, as we can see, Luffy is not very good of a fighter, and he relies on his devil fruit very heavily throughout the early stages of the show. Without receiving this devil fruit ever, he barely probably could make it past the King of the Coast, in my opinion. Luffy wouldn't be half as strong as he was in the show, and I just think this goes to show that Luffy really depended on his devil fruit power that he now never receives. So without his devil fruit, I think it would force Luffy to become more of a better fighter like Ace and Sabo were. But even if he becomes a better fighter, I don't see Luffy making it this far if he goes down this path. I think you could argue that Luffy gets ended right there on the King of the Coast and doesn't ever set out to sea, but if he does make it, I think Luffy would probably never make it to the Grand Line because he once again relies so heavily on his devil fruit powers. Even if he makes it to the Grand Line, I don't think without Haki he would survive any of it. I think Luffy's journey would just be ultimately 10 times more difficult for him because his brain would end up just basically getting him killed. The second way I think this could end up going is that Luffy actually ends up joining the Marines and following in Garp's footsteps. We know Garp always wanted Luffy to become a Marine, and he might have if he never met Shanks, so that's where this theory kind of is going. The fact that he never meets Shanks means he never receives a straw hat, and he doesn't get inspired from Shanks, so the next biggest role model in Luffy's life would be Garp. Garp would ultimately train him and make him become a Marine, and I think Luffy would astronomically climb the ranks of the Marines because, he wouldn't be dead because people would take care of him, basically. Garp being the hero of the Marines, I'm sure Luffy would have an in with the Marines very quickly. He's the grandson of the hero of the Marines, so I think he would be treated with respect and climb the ranks very steadily. I think he would be way better off. He could learn Haki from his grandpa, probably one of the strongest Haki users of all time, but we can't really confirm that. We could say that Garp is probably just as strong as a Haki teacher or Haki user than Rayleigh was, so Luffy's Haki training would be one and the same. And who knows, the Marines might actually give him a devil fruit if he climbs the ranks high enough. And I think Luffy would ultimately climb to Admiral status very, very quickly if he takes the same route that he did throughout the show when he was a pirate. I think everything in the show basically would stay the same. Marineford would happen, he would see that the war of the best, he's just not strong enough, and he would go and train and train. I think Garp could teach Luffy a lot about fighting and a lot about the history of the world. And I think Luffy would live a long life in the Marines. Everyone would take care of him. His brain wouldn't really get him, instantly life subscription canceled. So I think it would all work out. But let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think would happen if Luffy never met Shanks? If you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure you guys drop a sub down below and drop a thumbs up on the video as it helps me out tremendously. Thank you all for watching. This has been The Last Yonko. Peace out.